Hey guys, one of the subscribers out there requested we go over the Craftsman V20 Brushless 7¼ inch circular saw with a brake. And we also have the DeWalt FlexVolt sitting here. As the DeWalt FlexVolt, the Power Detect, and the FlexVolt Advantage are all very similar, and this guy is very similar to them. So we're gonna look at the differences. We're gonna push this saw with multiple different batteries, show you where you should land at a minimum for batteries, and also give this thing a little bit of a push to see what it'll actually do and when we find the limits of where this saw is going to work. Stick around as it's gonna be fun. This Craftsman saw is model number CMCS550B. It comes in a bare tool. I have a 2 amp hour battery on here. This is not what I would recommend, but I do want to note there are 4 notches in this battery for terminals. There are 4 notches back here that this saw uses. We see different things on different tools, and I just wanted to point that out. This saw is very similar in styling to the DeWalt. Now, I will show you that, but something that I think is really cool on a DIY saw as far as onboard tools. This takes an Allen wrench to put the blade on and remove it, but this connection is magnetized. So as you get it close, it'll suck itself into place and it will sit there. I think you can hear it getting sucked in. It's very solid, easy, and it's not something you're going to lose. I don't see that quite often on DIY tools. The onboard tool is usually chintzy. It's not that great, but since I think it took some styling from the DeWalt, it kind of is there. Now, differences that we'll see. Plastic handles. This is painted, looks like metal, plastic. Plastic here, plastic, and plastic. Is that a big deal? I say no. We still have an aluminum shoe. We still have a cast bevel area up here. Still has a detent or a little place it stops at 22.5 and 45 with a max bevel of 56. If you hold it over, it will cut 2 inches full depth at a 45, 2 9/16 at 90. Same as the FlexVolt. So, what's here? No rafter hook. That's what we're missing as far as styling cues. We still have our arbor lock up front, still have a forward auxiliary handle that is very comfortable, similarly shaped to the DeWalt. And this does have a brake. Now don't judge this as far as its speed at this point because I have a 2 amp hour battery on it, but I'm gonna start this guy up and show you the brake. Brake works actually quite well. There's also an LED light that's going to show you the cut line. Obviously, guys, to me, this is a left-hand saw, but a lot of people will go and have differences on that. If you're looking at a Craftsman saw at this point in time, I do not believe they make a blade left saw. Sure would be nice to see that come out. You have nice lines here for measurements on the front. Everything here looks legit. If we just slide these guys over, we can look at both and see that the dust port is slightly different on the Craftsman. There is a vacuum or dust collection system that you can get to put on this Craftsman, which I think is awesome. But as we even turn slightly here, you'll notice that the front shoe has the same sort of indentation for 0 and 45. Most of the bevel adjustments all look the same. The handles are in the same position. Obviously, we're missing the rafter hook on the Craftsman. Not a big deal. The handles are slightly different as to how you grab onto these tools. The DeWalt is a little bit more narrow. I love that DeWalt grip. But either way, as you move around, very, very, very similar styling, and I think that's great. For a Craftsman user, you're going to get just about everything as far as design cues as the DeWalt professional saws. So when you pick this up, or if you move between a DeWalt and a Craftsman, a DeWalt at work or Craftsman home, either way, you're going to feel very similar and comfortable using that saw. And I know a lot of these DIY brands don't do that, or don't have the ability to take a high-end saw to a point and turn it over and make it into something that is similar. The big difference though that we do see is in the way the saws do have the bevel attachment up front. You can see the Craftsman is over here to the right, where the DeWalt's more center and focused on probably a little bit more of a professional style, because it's going to be locked down in the center of the saw rather than off to the side. Very curious why they did that, because they already had the tooling and everything set up here, but we'll find out. Let's go do some cuts. All right guys, because this is a DIY saw, I want to point out we are in the center of this log. You can see the rings are starting from here and working their way out. Plus there's a little knot here. That's going to make a big difference in how this saw cuts. Starting out with a 2 amp hour battery on this, not what I would suggest, but probably what a lot of Craftsman owners have. Let's just listen to the saw. So you could hear it bog down, and you could actually see me moving. And as I pushed through, I was getting resistance, so it wanted to move the whole board. So the blade's pushing more than it's cutting in some cases. That could be a little bit more dangerous for a guy who's not used to using these saws, and why I would highly recommend moving up to a 6 amp hour saw. Now let's watch and listen what happens here. That cut through this much faster, much easier, without having to worry about something moving. So just as a point, I would stay away from the 2s, 4s, and I would say 5 and above is what I would want to use on this saw. So to prove this point just a little bit further, let's rip this 2x4 and listen to this saw with the 2 amp hour battery on it and just see what it sounds like. And that's it. We're going to get a cutout. That's fully expected. So let's do the same thing. Come in with our 6 amp hour battery and rip this 1/2 inch off. Much easier, works better, a little bit more safe. Something else to point out about this small 2 amp hour battery is that that little bit that we've been cutting actually took me down to 1 bar, and it just came up to 2. So you'll deplete this battery within very few cuts. Now we have some 1/2 inch OSB here, single sheet. We're just going to adjust this saw up so that we're cutting correctly. We'll just rip across this and see how fast it goes. This should be no challenge for this saw at all. Not a bit. Let's come up with something that's a little bit more challenging.
5 minutes later.
So we gave the saw a little break because we don't want anything to be too hot or anything happening here. We threw the battery pack back on the charger. We have just over half. I just am teetering between 2 bars and 3 bars here. So we're just going to make a cut across this 4x4 treated lumber, full depth of cut, just to see what happens. Does it cut out? We're going to take it easy, but we just want to see, can we do this? So I stopped prior to making it all the way through. I want to show you the amount of sawdust that I'm actually pushing on this side because that guy plugged up. That was making me slow down quite a bit while I was making this cut, but at the same point, no problem, was able to do it. Wasn't lightning speed. So in feeling the battery, it feels fairly warm. We are solidly planted in 2 bars. This is something I do for the more commercial tools. I'm gonna run it through this one more time just to see what happens. So again, the amount of dust from that dust port plugging up in this full cut and treated lumber slowed me down at about right here. You can see this is where some of it started to come out. This is impressive. I could start to feel the heat from the blade at about this point where it started radiating out, and you can see I was dragging all this along. Good reason to have a 6 amp hour battery because this took it without issue. It is definitely much more warm at this point, and we are down to 1 bar. All right, we went directly from that cut to the thermal imager, and I'm just curious as to what's the warmest part. I'm not seeing a lot of heat here until you look at the batteries. Not that that's crazy, but you can see the cells on the inside of this to a point, and they're warm on the bottom. Top, not so much unless you get to the connections, and you can see they're warm on the sides. Not crazy, but it's up there. The saw doesn't look too warm to me, which is a good thing, especially when we get around the motor. Seems that most of the heat, a little bit from me hanging on to it, obviously. Oops. Most of the heat is going to be probably closer to the connection of the blade. Pretty good. The battery was what was getting warm. All right, so here's my take. Again, when we look at the small 2 and 4 amp hour batteries, they're gonna get hot that much faster because of the amp draw from them. I wouldn't suggest these small batteries for a tool like this. And I know most of you guys out there who watch me are like, stop doing this because we all know, but there are quite a few people out there that don't. So if you're gonna purchase this saw, think this 6 amp hour as a minimum. 5 if you had to go down to it, but look how fast we drained the battery on this battery, I guess. Look how fast the saw drained this battery down to just 1 bar, and how it got up to 130 degrees-ish so quickly. And yeah, that's a full depth cut, full 8 feet, yeah. But if you have to do it, you need a larger battery. It's maybe not something you do every day, and maybe you can sneak by, but don't give this saw a bad review based on the small battery that you put in it. So personally, here's what I'm gonna tell you. Things I absolutely love about this saw is that it's styled after the DeWalt commercial models. I pick it up, I feel super comfortable with it. Everything here adjusts the same. So to me, personally, it gives me a comfort factor. It is nowhere near as fast as the FlexVolt, and I don't think it's gonna keep up with the FlexVolt Advantage either, or the Power Detect with the 6 amp hour battery on it, but I don't think that, we're in the same field. This is more of the DIY saw. Very impressed that it didn't get hot other than the battery, through that cut. Many of the other tools that we use in the DIY segment would have gotten warm or would have cut out even using the larger battery. With that said, Craftsman has one up larger battery than this, the 9 amp hour. I do not have it. I hope they also come out with a 12 amp hour. We'll see. The blade break on here is awesome. Don't see that in a lot of lower end saws. That's great to me that Craftsman brought this through from the DeWalt line and said, hey, we already have this 99% built. Let's just rock with it and put the Craftsman name on it. The batteries on Craftsman tools are not compatible with Black Decker. They're not compatible with Porter cable. They're not compatible with DeWalt. So that's one beef that everybody gets. This V20 and all V20 tools are Stanley Black Decker tools. Stanley Black Decker owns all those tool brands that I just mentioned. And unfortunately, all those tool brands have battery or brand specific batteries that go with the tools. You can get adapters, and there are ways of working around little things. If you want to leave those in the comments for other people, go ahead. But that's what you're stuck with. I like it. If this was my choice or if I had a couple choices of DIY saws out there, I would pick this one. Mostly because of the grip, the comfort, and everything else. The feel that I'm using something a little bit less DIY probably. It's not heavy, 7.1 pounds, 5,000 no load RPM. So everything was up there, and as we pushed it, it still took it and didn't get too warm. That's all I could ask from a tool, is that I get the job done, especially the DIY section. I don't care how quick I'm getting it done, as long as I get it done without hurting something and without smoking the tool. This nailed everything. So if you're in the Craftsman line and you have the larger batteries, or you're willing to invest in the larger batteries, I'd recommend this saw, flat out. It's not commercial. It's going to be your DIY section, and you could use it for commercial if you're not going to push it too fast, right? Or you're going to get bigger battery packs, because I don't think pushing a battery pack to 130 degrees consistently on a daily basis is really smart. I think that's going to degrade your battery, and you're going to be buying more and more batteries faster if you continue to heat them up as quick as we were here. So that's why I say DIY. Guys, super interested in your comments. As always, I'll do my best to answer everything I can across all our videos. If you haven't, please give us a like on this video, subscribe to the channel. As always, have a great day.